Regarding the Fukushima...
Japan's Prime Minister has just started speaking, updating the situation there. Let's take a listen.
The situation still is very much concerned. And on this, Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano will talk about that in detail following my message. So, ladies and gentlemen, there is one thing that I would like to ask for your understanding, and also like to make a request, including this Fukushima power plant. At many power plants have been damaged, and Tokyo Electric Power Plant and other power plants are in short supply of the power, especially in Tohoku. So the government has instructed the utmost effort to those two power companies to get the supply from other power companies. And also, we like to ask the industries as well as ordinary households to save energy and power. However, we do not know when those facilities will be restored. So in this situation, we could fall into shortage of power. And if this situation remains like this, we could fall into power outage in a wide area. And sudden power failure could devastate the lives of people as well as to the industrial activities. And this is something that we must avoid. Therefore, I instructed Tokyo Electric Power Company to make a premeditated outage in Tokyo area. And the details will be explained by Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry. And to people, I know I will be asking an inconvenience, and this is a very hard decision to make.
People may not be able to use power, and that may affect the supplies of gas and other lifeline, as well as medical and healthcare equipment. There can be such a negative impact. Along with the power outage, there can be accompanying concern, and we should take utmost efforts to be prepared. So the government has launched a panel to tackle these situations. We will make sure we will take necessary countermeasures and provide information to all of you. So we ask for your understanding. So that we can protect your life against power outage. As to Friday's earthquake and tsunami, and the current situation of the power plants in Fukushima, in the 65 years after the end of World War II, this is the toughest and the most difficult crisis for Japan in that period. Can we, Japanese people, overcome this crisis? That's the question being asked to each one of the Japanese people. We Japanese had a lot of difficulties in the past, but we were able to overcome those difficulties to reach this peaceful and prosperous society we have been able to build. So, with regards to the earthquake and tsunami, I am confident that the Japanese people can be united to work together to weather this difficulty That's my strong belief. Please, I ask each one of you, please have such determination. And deepen your bond with your family members, neighbors, and the people in your community to overcome this crisis, so that Japan can be a better place. We can build together. This is the message I'd like to emphasize to the Japanese people. And this is also my request to the people. Thank you very much. That's the press conference, news conference by Prime Minister Naoto Kan.
菅総理大臣が国民へのメッセージを発表しました。
That was the message by Prime Minister Kan. Now we are followed by Chief Cabinet Secretary Yukio Edano. Now from me, I will be practical, and I would like to inform 3 points. In the previous news conference, we told that there will be a meeting by the power companies, electric power companies. And if that is the case, we've decided that the meeting should be held earlier. And we have made many business practical coordinations, and we came up with the conclusion that it's very important that we tell this decision to the people of Japan. And so after this news conference, we will work out the timeline and set up the headquarters regarding this planned power outage and work out on detail. And the second point is that about transportation of food and water. Just as Prime Minister said, we are working very hard on this. However, particularly in the coastal areas, it's really difficult to transport food and water to these areas. And on this, we are trying to come up with various measures and methods so that we can deliver necessary food to the residents as quickly as possible. And I'm sure we will be able to tell about this in the immediate future. And thirdly, it is about the number 3 reactor in Fukushima power plant. And a short while ago, they have started the seawater injection into the new reactor. And the level of water has risen, and it has risen for a certain level, but then it seems that the gauge is not showing that the level of water is going up. However, the supply of water continues. And so we do not know what to make of this fact. Yesterday, ever since the explosion in the number 1 reactor, the situation like this is continuing. Now, number 3 reactor valve might be showing some failure. And the failure in the valve has to be solved, and the air pressure inside has to be lowered, and we are working on that. And currently, the radiation monitor hasn't shown any change. And so that was the latest situation of the Fukushima power plant number 3, reactor number 3. That's all.
I am from Kyoto Tsushin. First, the Prime Minister sent a message, but he didn't receive any questions. Why? LDP leader Tanigaki and he met, and Mr. Edano was not with them. The Prime Minister left just by giving a message without taking any questions. We wanted to answer your questions and send a message to the Japanese people, which we think is very important. But at the same time, as you are fully aware of, in all the fields, we are doing our best to handle these disasters. And we wanted to explain the details well. So the power supply was the main topic we wanted to cover, and the ministers in charge will make a report to take questions. And the sections in charge and also the detailed numbers and data will be announced by the sections in charge and also the task force. So under these circumstances, Japanese people are greatly affected by the crisis. So the Prime Minister himself wanted to make a request directly to the Japanese people. But as to the questions and answers, the ministers in charge decided to take the questions to answer the questions. So please understand. I am from Nippon TV. I have a question on the number 3 reactor in Fukushima. The water level is not going up according to the gauge. The water system is broken, or is there any water leakage? Is there anything of concern happening right now at the number 3 reactor in Fukushima nuclear power plant? Yesterday, as to the number 1 reactor, the water gauge was not functioning. And then we pumped water. And regardless of the water system, we were creating a situation to fill the container with water. As to the other situations, the experts are analyzing the details right now. At the same time, one of the reasons and the possibilities is as follows. The malfunctioning of the valve to remove the air. We are trying to resolve this issue right now. During the news conference like the number 1...
The Japanese government says it is going to bring in rolling power outages across the country. That includes in the capital, Tokyo, to deal with a shortage of power caused by the problems at the plant on your screen there in Fukushima. They say that the radiation levels remain high there. Seawater continues to be pumped in, and as a result of the loss of power, there will be rolling power outages. The Prime Minister Naoto, speaking a little earlier at that press conference, said Japan is facing the toughest crisis it has since the Second World War, and asking the community and the people to bond together to get over this current crisis. You're watching CNN.